Can you avoid the 4-month sleep regression? Well, yes, you can. But first, let's talk about what that is. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell, creator of the Helping Babies Sleep Method, the art and science of teaching your little one to sleep. And we talk about gentle newborn sleep shaping and how to avoid the 4-month sleep regression. So the 4-month sleep regression is a mental leap. It's related to object permanence. So your little one is learning that you exist even when they can't see you. And what this manifests as is that they tend to take shorter naps and they start to wake up more at night. So I frequently work with families who have been working with night nannies or postpartum doulas who rave about the 6 to 8 hour stretch of sleep that their child had swaddled, where they could rock them to sleep and put them down. They would get a 6 to 8 hour stretch of sleep. But now that child has turned maybe 3.5 months or 4 months, and they're finding that that kiddo wakes up every 3 hours and either needs to be fed back to sleep or needs to be rocked back to sleep, but those long stretches of sleep has disappeared and people are flabbergasted. What happened? What happened indeed is that they're learning object permanence, that you exist even when they can't see you. So if they are falling asleep in arms and then they wake up in the night, which all humans do, they recognize that they are in a different place and they think, the audacity, where did they go? I will cry for them until they come for me, which you will do. The 4-month sleep regression, can it actually be avoided? I have seen it. So I've been working with families for over 11 years on feeding and sleep as a certified lactation consultant. I'm actually a chiropractor by training, but really found my passion as a sleep consultant, empowering families to teach little ones to sleep and to parent confidently day and night. I work with kiddos from 4 to 6 weeks all the way up to 4 to 5 years of age. Here's the thing. If you start working on gentle newborn sleep shaping intentionally without tears as early as 4 to 6 weeks, you can minimize / avoid the impact of that 4-month sleep regression. Why is that? Sleep, the way we sleep, is actually a learned habit or a skill, and we don't really think about it that way. We think it should be this beautiful, natural, instinctual thing. Absolutely. However, the drive to sleep is biological and physiological, but the way we sleep is a learned habit. If you think about yourself, if I said to you tonight, you can't sleep in your favorite position, I'm going to take away your pillow, you would toss and turn and be frustrated, but you would eventually learn a new way to fall asleep. And in that 6-week to 12-week period, we are unintentionally, usually, that was me the first time doing this, teaching our little ones what sleep looks like. So if we were always rocking them or always feeding them to sleep, always, and I'm saying always because how do you build a habit? It's with repetition. One-offs here and there and a little bit of flexibility, not a big deal. But it's when you're always doing the same thing over and over again that you're imprinting and establishing what sleep looks like. So if you're rocking your little one to sleep every single time and it's working for you and they're swaddled and you're getting this 3-month-old, 6 to 8 hours stretch of sleep or more, and then you hit the 4-month sleep regression when they wake up, they recognize that they are no longer in your arms and they cry for you to repeat that because that's what they associate with sleep. So in the Helping Babies Sleep Method, what I teach parents and what I teach postpartum doulas is how can we start working intentionally on sleep to set your child up for success? Because sleep really is holistic. If you've been watching any of our lives all week, I talk about that a lot. Sleep is about 24 hours of your little one's day. So how are we stacking the calories in the daytime to help set them up for sleep? How are we exposing them to light in the daytime to help regulate and improve that circadian rhythm in the newborn that is weekly regulated? How are we putting them down awake and using what I call in my book the calm but awake method to help them learn how to fall asleep in the space that they're going to be sleeping? Because that is a habit that you can maintain long term. Sleep training, which should really be called sleep reteaching, is all about undoing habits after 4 months of age that you didn't know you were establishing because you just didn't know. Often it's the first time, even the second time. I didn't realize with my son, who I just kept breastfeeding back to sleep, that I was associating feeding with sleeping so much for him. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeding to sleep. It's just that if you want to be intentional about establishing healthy sleep habits that you don't want to have to work on or undo, then you want to be thinking about that in the 6 to 12 week range. Now, if you've missed that window, don't panic because you can always work on things later on. It's just that they are the most malleable in this beautiful 6 to 12 week period. And so the Calm but Awake method teaches you how to put your child down awake and help them fall asleep in the space that they're going to be sleeping. So you build the association with the crib rather than being in arms. So the 4-month sleep regression is associated with object permanence, learning that you exist even though they can't see you. And actually that continues on and off until around 9 months. They say 9 months, that whole separation anxiety is kind of the end of object permanence. Separation anxiety to me is such a negative term, but really what they're saying is you are their most preferred person and they would like to be with you. And it shouldn't be a very scary thing. It should just be seen as something natural, and that children are allowed to have a preference or a preferred parents at certain times. So in summary, if you're someone who's got feeding well established, and you want to be working on sleep intentionally, it's a priority for you because you realize how important sleep is to your physical and, let's be real, your mental well-being. And maybe you want other people to be able to put the baby to sleep if you're a breastfeeding parent, then you can absolutely be working on maintaining your breastfeeding relationship, but also disassociating feeding from sleeping and putting them down using the calm but awake method with your hand on their chest. And I have more about this in my book or in our newborns online class to help them fall asleep in the space that they're going to be sleeping. If you're a parent and you have a newborn and you want to be working on sleep ASAP, you can check out our newborn class. The link is in the bio. And if you're a postpartum doula and you want to be starting to implement this methodology that's recognized through the book with families and start coaching them really on sleep in their 24-hour period, not just the nights or not just their days, you can check out our certification courses. The link is in the bio.